Every time I close my eyes, I see the night again. In all the dreams I have, I hear the sound of angels cry. Take me back, I need to find those distant memories. Hold on close, only not far through it all. In all my life, I've been searching for a better world, but time has let me down. Here we stand on this broken land, raise my head up high, I can see the sun. We are the children, with fire in the sky, and we are the future. Our souls in the night will never die. Feel the change, it seems it's like the same old day to me. Nothing here I have to live before they capture me. In all my life I've been searching for a better world, but time has let me down. Here we stand on this broken land, raise my head up high, I can see the sun. We are the children, with fire in the sky. We are the future. Our souls in the night will never
Sean. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday night. It's a special night, and we are live.
We're live. Yeah, a special
Yeah.
night.
You got Dixie Dave, you got Crusher Crossen. We are here to rock and roll and induct our new members of the Hall of Fame.
It's our final Hall of Fame, too, by the way.
Well,
and-
unless you decide in 10 years to do one last Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, I think that we got to close the book on the Hall. Look, we only were around for 4 years, and we can't keep doing them forever. And we did 3 already. This is the 4th one, and 4th and final. And it's exciting time for everybody. For those who are going to be getting inducted. It means a lot to the guys, Dave, that get in.
And just so you guys know, yes, I am a part of the show, but I'm as in the dark as you guys are on who's getting in.
And
the
Dave,
only person that knows right now is Crusher Crossen.
That's right. I've kept it a secret. As hard as it is, I want to let people know. But give us a like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and give us a like on the video right now for us. It helps our algorithm. The guys did a great job last week. So if you always give us a like on the stream, that really helps. And
Crusher, I haven't done this in a while, so I'm going to do it real quick before we get rocking and rolling. I'd like to thank our musical intro people, the band Liliac, who are going out on tour soon, for allowing us to use their music. Papa Liliac's been on the show here once a few months back, and we really appreciate their support, as I know they appreciate our support.
That's a great song. I always thought, when Dave showed me that song, I said, this is the perfect song for us. We were the children back in the day.
And, people, part of the reason I plug them is they're a great band. They're independent. And, they could have charged us a fortune for use of their music, as some artists would. But you know what? Because I've followed them for like 3 years now. Because I went through the proper channels, they allow us to use their music for free. So if you like that song, go check them out at lilyacband.com. They've got lots of merch for sale. They're really great people. They're an independent band, no major record label behind them, and they're all brothers and sisters.
Yep.
It's a family business. Their father's their manager. He's in charge of producing their music, all that good stuff. So
yeah,
go
check them out. And Dave, I just want to we got a lot of comments rolling in. King Coop, welcome in. I'm glad you made it. Because sometimes you end up missing us and you come in late, but you're here right away, so that's great, and it's nice to see you again. I'm glad you voted, King. I'm glad you voted, actually. So
one of the nominees, Terry Kosnoffel, is in the house.
Yep, he was with us a couple shows ago, Dave, when we did our round table. It was great seeing him again. That's like the first time I was actually able to really interact with Terry in 40 years.
Yep.
Thereabouts. So that was great. And it was great to see Terry. And
Terry, you'll have to get in contact with Crusher and I about where you're at later this month.
Shout out to HCW Backyard Wrestling Archive. Thanks for joining in. Well, we got Gizmo in the house. Looks like his old account again. Maybe he went back to his old email. Dixie Dave. He's rooting for you.
Well, like I said, I'm as in the dark as you guys are on who's getting nominated or who's inducted.
Sky Sports Video News. You're in it to win it.
Hey,
lots of,
if you're not in it to win, you shouldn't be in the game.
Terry says, we all know Dixie Dave is being inducted in the Hall of Fame tonight. He's got your vote.
Hey, there's no guarantees, Terry. I mean, like I said, I'm as in the dark as you guys are.
Damian Thorne likes Brian Peterson. Brian's already in the Hall of Fame. If you guys seen the little build up, the 3-minute intro thing, it had all the Hall of Fame past nominations for over the last 3 that we did. You notice Brian's already been inducted. And when he told me to put my glasses on, was personal. That was personal because he'd gotten his sister's yearbook and seen me. And I always had the worst pictures for school. They always turned out wrong. My glasses would get crooked or something, and Brian picked right up on that. Yeah. And I laugh at it now, but man, I wanted to rip his head off when he said it, as anybody.
Oh, right? Like you said, Brian was the type, he could get under your skin real easy.
Oh, yeah. All right. And Terry says he's going to be moving to Elk River next Friday. So maybe I'm going to have to get in touch with Terry when I get into town at the end of April. Because I told Terry I would try to connect with him.
Well, Terry, connect with Crusher and I, and we might try and do a get-together. You'll get a chance to meet my fiance.
Yeah. I always keep my word, folks. If I tell you I'm going to get a hold of you, I'll get a hold of you. So we got a Hall of Fame to get going on with, Dave. But before I do, before we get to the the announcements and the winners and everything, so the next show we're going to do is going to be April 2 weeks from tonight. So April 18th, I think. That's going to be
in that neighborhood.
That's going to be on live again. It'll be a normal watch along, but we're going to have a special announcement on that show, Dave, that we hinted about last week.
Okay. Yeah.
And
you and I have been talking about it.
Yep. So it'll be an announcement that deals with our NWF video library. So,
kind of exciting.
It's exciting. And people are asking, does this mean something's going to happen with the NWF Rewind show? No, the NWF Rewind show is going to still go on as Dave and I always do. The Rewind show will be kind of part of it, but it's not what the announcement's about. So, and I know I got everybody thinking now. So, let's just say this, Dave. I know people have been, they enjoy our watch along, but at the same time, there's a certain group that kind of like to be able to see things full screen, if you will. So let's just leave it at that. And we'll be going over that announcement next week. And it'll be fun stuff. But but yeah, the Rewind show is still going to happen. In fact, it's going to be integrated a little bit with our announcements. So,
Sorry
yeah,
about that, Crusher. I had a pop up on my screen, and when I went to clear it, I got bumped out for a second.
yeah, I know. Well, sometimes I know that you have to do things, so I figured that's what you were up to. All right, so are we ready for the announcements? And not only that,
Okay.
so not only we're going to do all our reveals of the announcements, then we're going to go and we're going to go do the randomizer, random off all your email addresses, which have been privatized, if you will. I got them, but you'll if it's your email, you'll recognize it. But I've
And if
taken
I'm
a lot
correct,
of
you'll email the winners.
yeah, and
to
you'll
see
be
the ones
emailed
that
as
are right.
well. Yeah. Basically, we had a total of I think around 81 people that voted in our Hall of Fame, and there will be 40 prizes to give away. So you have about a 50% chance of getting something. Pretty good odds.
Well, I hate to say it, but there's 2 prizes I'm interested in.
Of course, everybody wants that WWF Andre 87 belt, which is a nice belt.
Oh, yeah, that's the number one. And then, due to what happened years ago, I don't have a copy of the book yet.
Well, Dave, I can get. You're going to get that when I come back anyway, so you got the book.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what I want? Well, that blue belt. That's the best prize in that whole giveaway, in my opinion. I guess maybe WWF Andre might be a little better, but for me, I like that blue one.
Okay, so what are we starting with for our inductees?
Okay, well, let's move over to our Hall of Fame screen, which I made a special screen for that. So this is it. This is our NWF Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2024. We're going to have an announcer, a manager, tag teams, 2 of them, and then the 4 wrestlers. And so here's the thing, Dave. I want to say this too. And of course, my disclaimer on the Hall of Fame. We don't think we're famous, guys. This is just for our own internal use and kind of a recognition, if you will, right, Dave?
Give the guys who get inducted a little good job.
And everybody's that gets inducted will get a plaque like this. See on my screen here. This is my plaque.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the one I got from when I got inducted back in 2014 that I had done. And then I was the test guinea pig, so I got a smaller version. Everybody else got a big 8x10. I got a littler one because I was just making sure that's going to look good for what we were doing. But then the guys get that. But Dave, so if 22 wrestlers, only 4 get in, that means 18 don't get in. And for those 18, you know how I feel about you, and as well as the other 11 tag teams that won't make it, and the other 4 announcers. Look, guys, if I could do it, man, they were everybody on the list was deserving. Let's just say that.
Exactly. And to those who don't get in, probably myself included, hey, it's the fan vote.
Yeah.
Crusher's not behind who gets put in.
Nope.
It's all based on what the fans think.
It's those 81 people that voted. They decided.
Yep.
And so, don't be mad at Dave. Don't be mad at me. We don't decide. We did kind of come up with the initial list, but just for the people who made it on the list, you made it up probably out of 60 guys. So,
and there's those of us who've made it twice.
Yeah.
Yep. Once as an individual, once as a tag team.
Yep.
Or
So Dave, are you ready to do your thing?
I'm ready to do my thing.
All right, so let's start with our first one. We're gonna do the announcer first. So of the announcers, there was Rich Taylor, Brian Balaban, Chris Barger, Ken Boyer, and I can't think of. There's 5 of them. Jeff Dinsmore. So of those, so that's who we were voting for, and let's go ahead and we're going to do the reveal. The announcer for the NWF's 2024 Hall of Fame, Mr. Jeff Dinsmore. What can you say about Jeff? Look, he was so integral to the league. He was so professional, and he won the votes. And Congratulations, Jeff Dinsmore. I'm sure he's out there watching.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Yeah, he was definitely. Look, all those announcers were good in my opinion, but Jeff certainly deserves it. And congratulations to Jeff Dinsmore. Dave, what do you remember about Jeff?
Well, aside from the obvious joke, the long-running joke, for my point in time, Jeff was one of our final announcers.
Yeah.
To my memory. Great guy. He always tried to put everybody over.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if you were a kid.
With Jeff, okay, with some of our announcers and commentators, they take pot shots at the guys.
Yeah, or they were more for the adults, because Jeff was part of that NCWA merger transition period.
Right. Whereas Jeff would treat each individual with respect. He would put them over as if they were, Ric Flair.
Yep. And when Jeff was on the show with us, he came on as a guest last year, I think, and he said that his intention in the beginning was just to help us. It was
right.
When they came in, it wasn't he didn't have the mindset that it's just going to be the adults and we're going to take it over. Jeff was part of that group that was in for all of it. They were in for the whole production of the show. So, Jeff always, gave everybody equal credit. He was excellent at commentating, excellent at interviews. He was great. So congratulations, Jeff. I'm glad. I'm real happy for him.
Exactly. And if I may say personally, I got behind the winning horse.
Yeah. Yeah, he was definitely deserving of it. So what I'm going to do now is, hang on here, I'm going to kind of minimize this thing and put this in the announcer spot. Just give me a second while I get that in there. That way we kind of have a record of it, right?
Yep.
On our board. How's that look? Does that look good for you?
That looks good for me.
Yeah. So there's Jeff Dinsmore's our announcer. He's placed in our little display, if you will. This is just something I threw together quick, guys. I wanted to have something for the show, so to make this look kind of nice.
He's now officially in the Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame. Now, the next category we're going to do is going to be manager. And, we had 4 managers in there. Brian Peterson, Merciless Mike,
Jackknife
Jacob, and Mick Weller, all great guys for the manager role. This was a tough category to vote on, wasn't it, Jeff? Or Jeff, wasn't it, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know you said you'd struggled with it. Well, let's reveal who the fans voted for the manager for us. Are you ready, Dave?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Mick Weller, a.k.a. Jason Klassen, gets the manager's induction for 2024. What a talented... Jason was so talented at the characters he would do.
Many aspects he was a part of in the league. I mean, from coming up with names to commentary to ring announcing to managing. I mean, he I hate to say it, but he was almost as busy at a show as you were.
Yeah, Jason, man, he was good. I can't say enough about him.
My only regret is that when Rattlesnake Jake and I won the national tag team titles, it wasn't the original Rattlesnake Jake that I won him with.
I don't know. We haven't watched the show, I don't think. But Jason actually went back to Rattlesnake Jake in Dayton. Do you remember that? In Dayton Studios? Yeah, he did Rattlesnake Jake again. It's kind of cool to see. But yeah,
how it is, Austin. You just didn't want to team with me.
But no, Jason, he really put effort into any character he did. Like when he did this Mick Weller, he was supposed to be from Sydney, Australia, and he literally did the Australian accent.
Exactly.
And it was just a great guy for a man. He couldn't have done it. He had to disguise himself, so that's why he has the whole bandana around his face and everything. Or so you'd know it was Jason, but he really did. And it was a good manager character for that part of the show. It really worked out well.
I mean, the smart fans knew that Mick Weller and Corporal Crossen were the same person, but maybe some of the fans might not have realized it.
Yep. So let's get Jason put into place here.
Minimized and placed in his proper place in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. Just scale him in here. Sorry, guys, I just have to line it up in the little placeholder. There. All right. Yeah, I had to move your thing out of the way, Dave, so that's why the confetti wasn't showing up right, but it is now. So there's Jason as our manager, Mick Weller in the manager spot. Now we get into some of the more exciting things. We're going to talk about the tag teams. Now there was a total of 13 teams. I'm not going to name them all off, but 13 teams, only 2 get in.
The Invaders, the U.S. Enforcers, Rattlesnake Jake and Dixie Dave, Crusher Crossen, and
Dr.
Kid
Dredd,
Kelsey,
Crusher Crossen,
Crush Crossen, and Dr. Dredd.
Yep.
Many tag teams, the Ring Warriors.
Yeah, a lot of good teams, and initially this was only going to be 1 day, but I made the call. Let's go 2 because there's so many tag teams in there, and if we're doing 4 wrestlers out of 22, we should at least do 2 out of 13 on the tag teams. This is our final Hall of Fame, so. Now,
and I think you're kind of hopeful.
And going forward, you're going to see the votes who was voted for. So in other words, you're not seeing who got the most votes first. You're seeing who got the least votes first. Does that make sense, Dave?
Yep.
So as we do these tag teams and wrestlers, the first one we introduce is not the one that got the most votes. It's the one who just made it, right? In our list.
Yep.
So let's see who got the second most votes for the tag team combination. Are you ready, Dave?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Will fly.
Crusher Crossen and Dr. Dredd. And, I appreciate the votes, guys. I really do. But honestly, I was rooting for a lot of other teams. But I was definitely rooting for my tag team partner, Jeff Dinsmore, Dr. Dredd. I'm glad for all the contributions he made with that character. I'm really glad to see him get inducted in here for this. I'm happy for him.
In the same year, he's a 2-time Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he got the announcer and he also got the tag team. But I tell you, Dave, I was stealing votes from myself between Kelsey and Dredd. But
okay, Crusher, we got a comment here for you.
Sure. You took votes away from yourself, being in there twice. It was a hard pick. I know. I imagine it was. And like I said, guys, I appreciate people that voted for me. I do. But for me personally, I was just rooting for so many other teams. But I don't want to take nothing away from Jeff. Jeff was a great partner. He asked, by the way this tag team, Jeff asked me if I would be his partner. That wasn't behind the scenes. Jeff wanted me to be his partner. He could have picked anybody in the league at the time. He was, really tight with Ernie running the league at the time, Ernie Ellis, but he asked me to be his partner, and that was a compliment. So, yeah, I'm real happy for Jeff. Like I said, he really put everything into his character, and this tag team was a unique tag team to begin with. I mean, it was the All-American image of me and the anything goes tactics of Jeff with his Dr. Dredd characters. So it was like that Vern Gagne, Mad Dog Vachon kind of combination. It was a very, very interesting team. So yeah, I mean, congratulations, Jeff. I'm sure he's watching, and I'm glad he got in twice, actually. One way to go out with a bang. By the way, when we're all done with this, I'm going to show you the charts so you can see how the votes all went. So when we're done, you'll be able to see that. Just FYI. All right, so that was that tag team. Let me just kind of get caught up to where I'm at here. And as you know, I gotta kind of rearrange this to get the team in the spot. Let's see, I'm gonna make it smaller first because it's getting kind of harder. Put that in the placeholder. So that's again, me and Dredd got the second most votes. The next one I'm gonna announce is gonna be the one who got the most votes for tag team.
Yep.
And that sized
While
right.
you're doing that, I'll get my. I gotta wait till you're done to get my screen ready.
Yep, I got your part of your screen ready now. So now we're gonna do who got the most votes for tag team. This is the one that won it. And if we would have been only doing one team, this would have been the winner. Are you ready, Dave?
I am ready.
Here we go. None other than Dixie Dave and Rattlesnake Jake.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you to the fans who voted.
I am real happy for you, Dave. I know that this tag team meant a lot to you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I tried to keep in contact with Dominic for a while afterwards, and we speak here and there. We haven't spoken in quite a long time, but I appreciated my time with Dominic.
This is another tag team that was a kind of an interesting kind of combination. Styles where you would never see that coming, but it was one of those teams that just worked. And it was a fun team to watch. And national tag team champions, in the October 18th sellout card.
I mean, to this day, I still hold it.
And Dave, I'll tell you, being on the podcast really does make a difference too. I think when you have all the exposure on our NWF Rewind show, people get to know you. So
exactly.
That's a big part of it here. So people are wondering, well, it definitely affects when our YouTube viewers are the ones that primarily vote. That's definitely going to play a role there. And not only that, but David made the comment, look at what the guys are doing currently, not just what they did in the past, but how involved are they afterwards, today on our show. Do they come back and, share their time? Dave shares his time with me every other week. So for the NWF, we're not making money on this or anything, guys. This is all for the pride and joy. So
no, I mean, quite literally, my boss was trying to talk me into coming into work tonight, and he goes, well, what would you rather do? Sit at home and do a podcast or come in and make money? And I told him, I said, the podcast is something fun I committed to a long time ago, and I'm going to maintain my commitment.
Yeah, it has been fun. And I'm glad we did this Hall of Fame to kind of do a final chapter with it, and we saved it for the 40th anniversary year. So this is all kind of, Dave and I talked about this 2 years ago, when we first started doing the podcast, that we were going to do this Hall of Fame this year. Any comments, Dave, you want to share that are coming in? I don't know, because I'm on the other screen.
Well, we've gotten comments from King Coop saying congratulations. King Coop said, same to you, Crusher and Dr. Dredd.
Thanks, Coop. Appreciate that.
And here's one directed at me from King Coop. Whether my boss understands or not,
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, here's the deal. Tonight is my night off, my regularly scheduled night off.
Right. That's one of the reasons we pick Thursday nights, guys, is because it worked with Dave's schedule.
And, he wanted me to come in for an extra shift, which would have been voluntary for me to go in for. And he's been bugging me, and he even cracked a joke to me that if I get into the Hall of Fame and win by one vote, I owe him one Friday. So hopefully it was by more than one vote that I won.
Well, we'll see. I don't even remember exactly. We'll have to look at the actual numbers here when we get to that part. I'm just kind of putting this placeholder in to get that in the right spot. It's got to line up just right. Sorry, guys. It's my perfectionism kind of comes through here when you see me fiddling with this stuff. OCD when it comes to that kind of stuff. I want it lined up just right.
Oh,
there
your OCD period crusher. And there's Terry and King Coop laughing with each other.
I'm gonna try something here, Dave. This oh yeah, that's right. That's why I have to keep moving that because I have to have your balloons and confetti thing has to be over us. That's why every time I move somebody in, I got to move your little thing out of the way and then put it back. So there we go. We're now ready. So now we are ready to go on to the wrestlers. This is the one that probably the most popular category. This is the one that I think people really get into. Of everybody you voted for, there's 4 wrestlers that get in. There was a total of 22 eligible. That means 18 didn't make it. And for those that didn't make it, and some barely missed out, I feel for those guys. I do. But at the same time, I'm going to be very happy for those who get in. And obviously,
Right.
I'm not on this list because I'm already in there. But
okay,
I know, Dave, you're in the running.
On with that, one thing I'm going to share with the fans about mine and Dominic's tag team, we were a last-minute thrown-together team because of some behind-the-scenes shenanigans by other wrestlers.
Yep, it was a change, and
they always say cards subject to change. Well, that was a last-minute change about a month before the show.
Well, I think it was maybe a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fairly quick. I remember it was at Coon Rapids at the community center. We had the meeting. That's where we decided.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with the wrestlers. And again, now the first wrestler you're going to see is the one who just made it, right? We're going to go from least amount of votes to most amount of votes. So the order you see is whoever gets in last got the most votes, just like we did for tag teams. So the first one to come into the Hall of Fame. Are we ready, Dave?
I've got my finger on the button.
All right, here we go. Invader for Terry Kosnapel gets into the Hall of Fame. He was on our show, and of course, like I said, coming into the podcast, you get that little bit of exposure right before the Hall of Fame makes a big difference. But not only that, Terry's just in ring work. His work inside the ring was phenomenal.
Exactly.
And
he was just kind of thrown in cold turkey.
Yeah, and some like this particular match in the highlights right here. Yeah, that was kind of just they didn't even get a chance to practice ever. They just had to put on the match. So yeah, it was Terry was a natural. And I know this because I trained him. He had natural abilities, and he was good. I wished he could have stayed with us through the dry dock stuff. But nevertheless, I mean, whether he started out as Destroyer Mark II, then he became Invader 4, but he was the same guy, Terry Kosnapel, and just a good hand in the ring and a talent.
And from what he said when he was on the show, I'm the one that led him to the NWF.
Yeah, well, you guys all lived in that neighborhood.
Yep.
And but no, Terry, I can't say enough about him. He just was really good, and great attitude, by the way, too. When we talked to him in our round table, what a good attitude he has today in life. Good perspective, just a good-hearted guy. And so I'm happy for Terry. I definitely deserves it. You're in.
Congratulations.
And so that's the first one that gets in the Hall of Fame, Terry Kosnapel. I'm going to go ahead and remove the video. And now we're going to give me a second, Dave, while I put him in
All right.
to the spot. Got to get him sized up.
While you're doing that.
There we go. All right. So first,
Okay, let me get my spot ready here.
1 down, 3 to go. And the next one, of course, is going to be the one that got the next amount of votes. And are we ready, Dave?
I'm ready for you.
All right, here we go. This is, of course, all voted by you guys. Remember that. You people that voted, you decided this. And here we go. Mr. Macho, Mike Whaley, finally gets into the Hall of Fame. I'm really happy for Mike. You know, he honestly thought he would have got in sooner, but well, the people definitely made their voices here, and Mr. Macho gets inducted.
Former
Great guy.
US champion.
You know, he's a great guy today too, by the way. He doesn't come on the show. Mike's not the kind of guy that will want to come on the podcast, and that's fine. You know, he's busy with his life, but he cherishes the memories, and he was a great guy back in the day. And he was one of those guys that really wanted to just see this whole thing work out, like the show and everything. It was very integral that way, behind the scenes.
Exactly. He'd be one that'd be fun to get together with.
Yeah, and Mike took a lot of care in his character. You know, he was the guy you loved to hate, first United States champion. Me and him, of course, it was Mike I went against at the Anoka Armory in that big sellout. It was Mr. Macho and Crusher Crossen and the Anoka Armory. I had lots of matches with Mike, but he, definitely deserves to get in. I'm happy for Mike. I know his partner and friend, lifelong friend, Dominic Dumas, I'm sure is equally proud of Mike getting in. I mean, they still stay in touch as far as I know. But yeah, Mr. Destroyer's in, and now Mr. Macho joins him. Good stuff.
Yep. Just sad that they couldn't make it in as a tag team.
Yeah, they didn't make it as a tag team, but it's the thing that's interesting about these guys. Yes, they started out as a tag team, but they really became bigger as solo wrestlers.
Exactly.
Which is probably why that went that way. The tag team was okay, but it was when they first came in and they were still kind of green. And then they really blossomed in their own characters. They equally, so it was kind of cool that way. All right, let me start preparing this. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta resize it. I know, and there's no easy way to do this, to put it in our little placeholder. There we go. Look good, Dave?
Looks good.
All right, so 2
now
down,
I'm ready.
2 to go. We're getting down to the final 2 that's going to come into the Hall of Fame. And this next one then, of course, got the second to most votes for the Hall of Fame. And we are going to then go. You're ready, Dave?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Jamie, whoops, I got the wrong video playing. Let me fix that. Jamie McParland. There we go. Jamie McParland, a.k.a. Ricky Vaughn, was the character. And he gets in with the second to most votes for the Hall of Fame. The people have spoke. And, Dave, this isn't a shocker because Jamie was good.
Oh, yeah. Jamie was good. He's a hell of a nice guy. I mean, he totally deserves it. In a way, I'm kind of sitting here kind of like a proud papa right now. The people that I brought in have been inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yep. And something? It's Jamie doesn't think it, but he was very good. maybe Jamie says, well, I was so much better than everybody else. Jamie was right in there with me though. Look at this footage. He was just, his moves were crisp. He knew how to bump. He knew how to sell. He knew how to deliver and perform. He was just an all around good guy that way. But just like yourself, Dave, his heart was in it. He was all in. Like a lot of us, I guess I
Exactly.
should say.
Well, I mean, here's the deal with people like Jamie and I. We didn't care if we were counting the lights or not. We just loved and had such passion for the business that we wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, Jamie. I mean, I am so happy for him. I'm glad he's in for the final Hall of Fame. He gets in, and rightfully so. And
And
just looking at all this footage of
Jamie's
him.
more than happy when he has time to share his time with you guys. I
Yep.
mean, whenever Crusher and I have needed a guest host when the other person's been gone, Jamie's always been more than willing to step in and help out.
And he's extremely busy. He's not like
Yeah,
just sitting around with time on his hands. So the fact that he does make time to come on and with us is just another testament to his character. So you know what?
exactly.
Yeah, congratulations, Jamie. I am happy for you. I'm glad you got in and you got the second most votes, and that says something.
Yep, it does. I mean, congratulations, Jamie. You know, well deserved, my friend.
Oh yeah,
Well deserved.
yeah, just a great guy. And I'm gonna size him out, get him into the placeholder. This has like little guides, so it makes it a little easier to click them in. But
Yep.
I'll get it close enough anyway. It's not like it needs to be perfect. All right, so now we are down to the final one. The person who got the most votes for the Hall of Fame this year.
The final ever person to be inducted into the NWF Hall of Fame.
And this is,
Unless Crusher opens it in 10 years.
out of 22 wrestlers, there was a lot of choices to make here. But again, this is all on your votes. So you guys decided it. Here it is. Are you ready for it, Dave?
I'm ready.
Here we go. None other than Dixie Dave himself, the most votes in the NWF Hall of Fame. How about that?
Once again, I thank everybody who voted. I
Getting
appreciate
some
the
fireworks for
votes
this
I
one.
got.
I'm so happy for you, Dave. That is awesome. That is awesome. And people are going to say, I know some of our alumni might be saying, well, gee, Dave might not been the best in the ring. But, you guys got to remember do you remember how devoted he was and his commitment back in the day? I can't think of anybody that wasn't more committed than you were, Dave. You were
Yeah, I
there
mean,
all the time and you gave it 120%. So,
every meeting that I was requested to be at, I was there.
yeah.
I knew my role in the company and I played it very well.
Bigger than that, you've been with me for 2 years on NWF Rewind. That obviously has an effect, and you've given your time since the days of NWF.
You
So
know, it's an honor to be inducted. Not once, but twice in the same.
yeah, you get in
But
twice. Yes, you
you
did.
know, I as you all know, I didn't go into this thing cocky, thinking, "Oh, I'm a shoe-in,"
Yeah.
and it is an honor to be inducted.
And like I said, this was all up to you guys voting. You decided this. So, and I'm going to show the how these results all went. I'm sure people are kind of curious how the votes went. So I'm going to show you the bar graphs on this. But Dave, before we do that, just congratulations personally. I'm very happy for you. This is great. I wanted to tell you this so bad, and I just had to keep my mouth shut because I wanted you
And
to be surprised for the show.
there's been times where I've tried, kind of hinting it out of you, but
Mm-hmm.
Crusher steadfast and held his cool and
And not
never
to,
went for that split.
I tried to, I told you things got tight and they did, but not necessarily for you. But it was tight. I'm going to show you these results. Let me just put Dave in his placeholder. But the most votes for the 2024 final Hall of Fame of the NWF Dixie Dave. I'm glad. I'm really glad. That was a great way to come in for the final Hall of Fame. And there you have it, folks. As voted on by you guys. This is it. Our announcer, Jeff Dinsmore. Manager, Mick Weller. Tag teams, Crossen and Dixie Dave and Rattlesnake Jake. And then the 4 wrestlers. Terry Kosnapel, Invader 4. Mike Whaley, Mr. Macho. Jamie McParland, Ricky Vaughn, and Dave Dixon. Dixie Dave, our 2024 class of 2024 Hall of Fame. The final one.
And once again, on behalf of myself, thank you to everybody who voted. I mean, it's an honor. It's a shock. I was up against a lot of very good people.
Yeah, and thank you too. I want to thank everybody for voting on this. And now we're gonna go to a different screen, Dave, because I'm gonna show you. This is a special screen share screen, and I'm gonna pull up my screen share. Just give me a second so I can get to the right thing. Let's see here. I gotta find it. Okay, there we go. All right, let me know if you can see this okay. Dave, are we seeing this all right? You want me to zoom in a little bit?
If you could zoom in a little bit.
Is that getting bigger?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the way the wrestlers went. As you can see, Dixie Dave 59%, followed by Jamie McParland at 40%, followed by Mr. Macho at 37%, and then you had Terry Kosnapel at 30.9%. The next one who just missed out barely by looks like 3 votes was Rockin' Ronabom. Barely made it, and for that, for Ronabom, my heart goes out for that one just because he was so close. But he just about made it. And then behind him was Jackknife Jacob, who was really making a later surge. He came from out of nowhere kind of in the end here. And then let's see who else was up kind of close. We had Merciless Mike at 15 votes. And then the Dynamite Dude at 14 votes. So, and everybody else, they're, under that. But you can see kind of how the votes went for that category. Let me scroll down the tag teams. This is how the tag teams went. Barely, Dave, by 1 vote. And I hate to say it, but it was by 1 vote. It looks like you might have to be working for free with FedEx. I don't know.
Well, you see, he said if I barely made it in and won by 1 vote, so.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what happened. Well, yeah, you're right, but you did get it by 1 vote here. But yeah, so 32 to 31. The next team that was close was me and Kelsey, the Rock and Roll Express, at 24%. And then the next one, the Invaders, at 18%. So that's, that list, I guess, if you think about it, that actually makes sense, really. I don't know.
Two teams that were national tag team champions and 2 teams that were world tag team champions.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of other people were just getting votes, but they were just not getting enough. But I'm glad we picked 2 teams to go in, just because, out of a list like this, it's nice to have 2 go in. Let's take a look at managers. This is how the managers went. And Mick Weller, well, he pretty much had this the whole time. He just had a strong start and strong in the middle and strong finish. Although Jackknife Jacob was making a surge in the end. But it wasn't gonna able to catch Mick Weller, unfortunately, for Rob. But and Brian Peterson also got quite a few votes as well. So yeah, that's how the managers went. And then now to see how the votes went for the announcer. Jeff Dinsmore, actually, Jeff had a strong lead from the beginning, but Rich Taylor was making a huge surge, and Brian Balaban, and I think they kind of stole votes from each other. I think it would have been closer. That them two were really kind of coming up in the end, but especially Rich Taylor, he was really getting a lot of votes at the end, but just not enough to catch Jeff.
Yeah,
So,
I had a feeling about Jeff this year.
yeah. So that's kind of how the voting metrics went. All right, so now let's get on. Since I'm on my screen share, we're going to continue on with the randomizer to see who gets the prizes. And so I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. Give me a second here. I know you're still seeing the one screen, but I just want to make sure. Well, I guess I'll have to leave it like this. All right, I'm going to go to a new screen. Did you see the screen change? Okay.
Yep.
So this is the prizes we're giving away. This is just a spreadsheet for now. It's empty. There's no emails put in here yet. But you see the top prize is the WWF belt, then the NWA belt, then the 3 NWF belts. The next set of prizes will be 5 4-DVD sets of the Armory series. Then we'll be doing 5 NWF Rewind t-shirts. Then we'll be doing 5 You Pick Anoka Armory series DVDs. So of the 4, you get to pick one, right? I'm sure Dave would be picking that October card if it was
Well,
him.
I do already have a copy of it, so.
Right. No, I'm just saying if you didn't have it, that's the one you'd want.
Right.
And then the 21 through 40, the remaining prizes will be either the Untold Story documentary DVD or Pro Wrestling Kids style book. You pick one or the other. And that will be the remaining prizes. So, and we have up to 40. So of the people that voted, you got about a 50% chance here of getting something. And the way it's going to work, we're going to go do this randomizer here in just a minute. And I'm going to randomize all the emails off into a random order. And however that randomizer determines it, we'll do it 4 times. We're going to randomize it 4 times. You know why I'm picking 4, Dave?
Because it was 4 years for the NWF and 4 Hall of Fames.
4 Hall of Fame. So we'll randomize it 4 times. And however that list ends up, I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to paste it in here. And then whoever is at the top of that list will get the top prize, and so on. So I'll show you here is I'm going to go to the screen. This is the random.org screen I'm going to come to. Let me know when it shows up, Dave.
I see it. Random.org.
So all the emails are in here. Now, you notice there's a bunch of asterisks in the middle of the emails. I've masked the emails. This is just for your privacy. But if it's your email, you should recognize it. They're all alphabetical order right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these so you can all see your emails. I just went down a page. So I'm going to kind of page down each section here and let you guys see. So if you can hopefully pick out your own. Is it big enough, Dave, or do I have to make it bigger?
If there's a way to go full screen with this,
I can just keep zooming in like this. Is that look better?
a little bit better.
All right, let me go to the top again just to make sure people seen it. So there's the first list. Let's see if I can go closer. How's that?
Yeah, okay.
I got a little closer now. That might be too close because it's kind of cutting off. I'm gonna go stay on this screen. So we'll stay to this view right here. Okay, so that's the first page. I'm going to just scroll down. This is the second. I'm going to kind of paging down so everybody can see that their email's in here if they voted. Believe me, if you voted, if you're one of those 81 votes, whatever email you put in, that's the email I'm putting in here. And again, I've just masked out the middle. I always use 3 asterisks. It doesn't mean I took out 3 characters. It just means I took out the middle part of your email. So if you recognize the first part and the last part, you'll know it's your email. Okay. Go to the next page. So everybody be able to see that their email's in here. And this is in the randomizer website, so it's ready to be randomized. So next page. Again, this is all alphabetical right now. Okay, there's the next page. It's giving everybody a chance to look at it. There's the next page.
And I'm sorry I'm not running comments, but I went full screen so I could see everything.
Yep, that's fine. And I think this is going to be my last page right here. This is all of them. So that's all the emails, right? And I'll just kind of slowly scroll back up so everybody can see. And just get kind of to the top again. All right.
And I think I recognize a few of those emails, but
Yeah. You know, we had alumni voting. We had, of course, our regulars voting. We had people from the YouTube channel that don't necessarily tune into us live, but are watching our stuff. They're voted. Lots of just a little Facebook people. So a little bit of everybody. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of zoom out more so you can see what's happening here, because now we want to be a little more full screen for this.
yep.
Okay. So I'm going to hit this randomize button. It's right down here. When I do that, it's gonna randomize these once. When I do that, then I can keep doing it. And I'm gonna do it 3 more times. So it'll be a total of 4 randomizers. All right. So I'm gonna hit randomize once. So there's been randomized once. But now this isn't final. There's an again button down here. I'm gonna do it 3 more times. So again, that's 2, 3, and 4. This is going to be the list. I'm just going to copy these emails. And I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet. And you should see the spreadsheet come up again here. And now I'm going to paste these emails. So this is who wins the stuff. The WWF Andre 87 Championship belt, the W3, if you recognize your email, you win the WWF Andre 87 belt. The one who won the NWA Domelo belt was this JenGade.com. The NWA World Title belt, baby, is how it starts. So it was the only one on our list who voted that way, that started that way. So NWF National belt, you see that winner. And the NWF World Tag Team Title belt. Right, they got that winner. The Anoka Armory Series 4 DVD set, Fuse 7. I'm just going to go by the first name of it, I guess. Fuse 7, Zorro, Jeremy, the RYA, and Scott. Okay, those get a 4 DVD set. The NWF Rewind t-shirts, the new version. That might be myself because I voted, so I'm in there too. So I might not want my own t-shirt. J2KO, Faru, Chuck, and Jado win an NWF Rewind t-shirt. The Anoka Armory Series single DVD title where you get to pick one. J Frat 6, Jeff A, Mike H, 2KO, and Tom T. And the rest, you get to either pick a book or an untold story. I'm just going to kind of leave it there and let you kind of look that over to see if you were one of them. But those are the ones that get to do they get to pick. So either a book or a documentary.
And I don't believe I saw my email on the list of winners, so.
I don't know, isn't this one you? D Dime? I think that
might be.
That might be you.
But you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. You'll be
emailed too, by the way, everybody. You're going to get actually emailed on this. So
here's what I'm going to do. Seeing that looks like it might be me, I'm going to say give my prize to person number 41.
All right. Yeah, and I might upgrade mine too because whatever I won, I'll just upgrade that to somebody who won one of the first person who won one of the Booker DVDs. I'll probably upgrade them to mine as well. So yeah, but let's go back to our regular. Let's go back to our Hall of Fame screen so we can see the winners. Again, this is who won it. Jeff Dinsmore as an announcer, manager Mick Weller, tag teams Crossen and Dread, and Dixie Dave and Rattlesnake Jake. Then the wrestlers, Terry Kosnapple, Mike Whaley, Jamie McParland, and David Dixon all get in. Congratulations to everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for voting on us, too. Dave, we got lots of comments. I don't know where we're at.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get to the
Well,
regular
I'm way
screen.
behind. I'll let you.
All right, let me just see where we all kind of left off. Well, this is an interesting comment from Sky Sports Video News on Jeff Dinsmore. We didn't get to see enough of Jeff to know to vote for him. I'm glad the people who knew him saw past our ignorance and voted him in. But you know what, though, Sky Sports? I told you all along, every one of those announcers were deserving. That's probably the category I struggled with the most.
Yeah.
Was announcers, just because they were also we as a league were so fortunate to have people that were really good at the mic, and that made a big difference. And so for that category, I'm just going to silence this so this thing doesn't keep going off. That category was a tough category, so I you don't have to feel bad about that.
For me, the struggle was managers.
Yeah. Here's a comment for you from Sky Sports Video News, Dave. I don't know if you've seen it. When you got inducted,
No.
way to go, Dave. You showed a lot of heart getting into the ring and sticking it out. Nice job. Congratulations.
I thank you. I thank you, Sky Sports. Thank you for being a loyal viewer.
King Coop also gives you congrats. Well earned.
Thank you, King Coop.
Terry Kosnapple, congratulating you as well.
Thank you, Terry.
Let's see. And then Terry, this is Terry's response to getting into the Hall of Fame. Thank you guys, and I appreciate both of your guidance. Terry, I'm so happy for you. I'm glad you're in. Just remember this: you earned it. You really did.
Exactly.
And that goes for everybody that got in. You know, you didn't get voted in just on a whim. You know, there was 81 people that had their say, and this is how they figured it to go. So,
the people have spoken, Terry.
Yeah,
you deserve to be in by their standard.
Absolutely. And then King Coop for Mike Whaley says, congratulations, Mike. We got Gizmo congratulating Jamie. Really loved your videos. Yep, absolutely. And King Coop says, pretty decent Hall of Fame class this go around. Yeah. It was and then in response to seeing the what do you call the metrics of it, some of these votes were definitely pretty close. They sure were. Chad Ronnebaum, 3 votes, Dave. Just 3 votes.
Yep.
And he would have been in. Of course, if he beats Terry, then Terry's out. So it's like, what do you do, It's like, somebody there has to be only 4 winners, right?
They were all brothers, they were all friends, and my heart breaks for the ones that didn't get in. But it's not my say so or Crusher's say so. It's for lack of a better way to put it, it's what the NWF universe has decided.
Yeah. Got a comment here from Terry just now. He says, thank you both for your love and support. I thank all of the voters for making this possible. Yep. And this is what it's all about right here. It's to give these guys recognition for what they've done. I look, and I'm not taking it for granted. I'm not. I was just contempt of being in it the first time in 2014. So, the fact that I got in as a tag team, that's a compliment. I'm really happy for Jeff, because,
Exactly.
people can say what they want about Jeff. He was an adult, he wasn't a kid, right? But Jeff was one of those rare ones that actually cared about us. That makes sense.
He was willing to treat us kids as equals.
Right. He looked at it that way. He didn't look at it as, he wasn't one of those guys that were just in it for the big guys like Luscious Larry. Don't confuse Jeff Dinsmore with that.
Exactly.
He wasn't. They're totally different people. So yeah. So I'm happy for him, and I really cherished our time as a tag team too. So it's like that was one of my better teams. Kelsey and I, yeah, and me and Merciless Mike were a tag team for many, many years in the early days. We didn't even make the list, but I had a lot of good tag team partners. But Jeff was it was fun with Jeff because those dry dock cards were fun. The atmosphere
Yeah.
was fun. Jamie knows this. Anybody who was there, Dave, you weren't part of it at that point, but yeah, it was a very Georges and Fridley like atmosphere at times. To put it like
Exactly.
And you know what that was like. So
Oh yeah. Well, you saw the smile pop on my face when you mentioned it.
yeah, yeah.
Very fun place. I mean,
Georges and Fridley, if people don't know, that was when I worked for Pro Wrestling America. Me and Troy and Dave was around then, and that was the PWA. Very, very fun venue. Hard ring, a very Fred Moore like ring. Wasn't a fun ring to be in, but and the small ring. It was only 16 by 16, and I was used to a 20 by 20.
And also with George's, it was a great place to. Here's the thing: a lot of people don't know. When PWA came to George's and Fridley, legends of wrestling would come down to watch wrestling there.
Yeah.
I mean,
the AWA was on its dying legs.
Yep.
At the time, so Eddie was kind of the new breed at the time. It was what everybody was kind of clinging to for something local.
Yeah. And I mean, at George's and Fridley, or Roper's as it later became known, I got to meet people like Sheik Adnan Al-Casey, WWE fans would know him as, General Adnan.
Yeah.
Former AWA star, NWA star, Baron von Raschke.
Yeah.
Former Portland wrestler, Big Juice Jeff Warner. Lots of people came down to George's.
I'll tell you a story. People like the stories. At George's and Fridley, me and Troy were there. I'm trying to think what match we had. What was it? It was the card. It was the card. I think it was my last match, maybe, because it was our chain match that we did. And Troy wanted to juice. He wanted to blade. Troy was 18. He was old enough to do it, and it was a chain match, so he wanted to do this. And Wally Carbo and Al DeRusha and Roger Kent, 3 legends of the AWA, were in attendance to see the card, and Eddie knew this. Eddie Sharkey. And because those guys were there, Eddie said, Troy, I don't want you doing this juicing. This isn't you. I know you're 18, but you look too young. And I don't want you to juice in this match. Not with those guys here. So Eddie nixed it. And when I got there, because I remember I come from Wisconsin at this time, I'd have to drive from Wisconsin after my regular job to do these PWA shows. When I got there, I knew Troy was going to blade. And he's like, no, he goes, Eddie said I can't do it. I'm pissed. He goes, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to do it anyway. I said, Troy, if you do it when Eddie told you not to, you'll never work here again. Don't screw it up. Do what he says. So if he says don't blade, don't blade. And he says, well, the match is going to look like crap with no blood. It's a chain match. I said, I get it. I said, Troy, I said, I got an idea. During the match, I want you to put the chain around my neck, and I want you to throw me against the ropes and pull the chain back. We'll give him something that'll make him think, oh my God. So I wanted to make it look like he decapitated me with the chain. I've never done it. I just said, just do it. I'll figure it out. I seen Bobby Heenan do this with the strap with Ken Patera at WrestleMania. I thought I could do the same thing. So let me tell you something. I think I almost broke my neck on this move, Dave. And that chain, when Troy pulled it, it like lurched my neck, and I went up like I did a drop kick, and I sold it. But man, I thought I was going to decapitate myself. But it worked. But here's the thing I want to tell you about that story. Yeah, I know I'll get there in a second, Jay. But before I forget, when I was done with the match, I went up to the bar because I was thirsty. I wanted to get a Coke, right? Or you didn't have bottled waters back in those days. But anyways, I was up at the bar, and behind me was Roger Kent, Al DeRusha, and Wally Carbo. And I had my NWF Pro Wrestling jacket on, so I'm up there at the bar, and I could hear him talking. And then Roger Kent taps me on the shoulder, goes, very professional, like he goes, excuse me, sir, what does NWF stand for? So I told him, National Wrestling Federation. He says, oh, okay. And I was so humbled that these guys talked to me. What did I do? I got nervous and I just couldn't say anything more because these guys were legends. And I just said, thanks, guys. And I walked away. I wished I could go back to that moment again and just tell them how I feel, But
Yep.
Anyways, Dave, you wanted to say something.
Well, I saw that the comment passed, but I saw Jeff Densmore popped in. Wanted to say congratulations to him for making it in twice.
Yeah. So, well, before I get to Jeff, King Coop says, well, on that story I just told, he said, those AWA legends showed up to watch all of you. That's actually so cool. Yeah, they were. It was Eddie's card, PWA, but still to have them guys there watching us, that was something. That was, knowing you wrestled in front of those guys, it's kind of cool. Another person that was at George's in Fridley that night, this guy right here, Jeff Dinsmore. He was there in attendance. I remember running into him. Thank you for the Hall of Fame. And Jeff, look, man, you deserved it. And the people spoke, and you got in, and nothing but great memories with you, Jeff, both as an announcer and as a tag team partner. What more can you say? So Jeff Dinsmore, I'm just glad. I'm really glad for everybody that got in. And for those who didn't make it, I feel bad for you guys, but at the same time, I'm glad that you made the cut. Because like I said, there was probably 60 guys we had to choose from. So, just to be in the group.
People that hadn't been.
Yeah, that haven't been nominated. Yeah, so.
Or haven't been inducted yet.
Yep. And of course, the winners, you can always go back if you want to see who won the stuff. You'll be getting an email shortly. Give us about 3 to 4 weeks to get all this figured out with the email, getting prizes sent out to everybody and everything. It's going to take some time to sort through it all. You're going to basically have 30 days to claim your prize. And for those who wanted to opt out, because there were people that opted out of this, if you don't want a prize, just not replying with your mailing address when we ask for it is going to be your way of opting out. You'll have 30 days basically. So if you don't reply in 30 days, that just means that you've opted out. So if you so choose, but don't feel that you need to. I mean, I want to make sure if you're entitled to something, I want to make sure you get it. So, and I will say this, if you get an email from me that says you want a book or a DVD, Untold Story, and you've already got it, just let me know that. And, we can always substitute one of the Armory DVDs if that works better for you, or, that's always something I like to throw out there. So, but yeah, so that was a fun night. I was so looking forward to this, to be able to, this is the first time, Dave, we've done it live. We've always announced our Hall of Fame winners on our YouTube channel.
We've always done it on the NWF page.
Yeah. But this was the first time we did it live, and so that was kind of fun. And we had our regulars in there. Any questions from the guys before we wrap it up? Let us know, or any comments you want to make.
Well, I see both Jeff and Terry are talking about wanting a reunion.
Well, let me just get kind of caught up with everybody. So Terry's congratulating Jeff. King Coop also congratulates Jeff Dinsmore. And Jeff Dinsmore says he's very proud, and rightfully so. And yeah, I see Jeff says a reunion. We've done things before. We've done it. It's just if there's enough interest, I'm all for it. We just have to get everybody on board to want to do it. Everybody's in different places with their lives and stuff, and sometimes not everybody's on the same page for it. But if they are, look, I'm up for a get together. I think it'll be fun.
Even if it's just a few of us that get together, Jeff and Terry get a hold of Crusher. There's something in the works coming up real soon where Crusher's taking a trip out here.
Yeah.
Maybe we can work something out.
Well, it's kind of short notice, but even if they want to try to do something later on, we can always try to figure something out.
Yeah.
And I know Jeff says Vegas, and Terry says, let's bring it back to Minnesota. Yeah, I'm fine with Minnesota too. I mean, I love Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm not far from Vegas, but trouble with me, when I get into Vegas, I start hitting those slot machines, and that's not good. So at least in Minnesota, it's just the reservation. What's that?
You're safer here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Indian reservation there, but the casino. But I generally stay away from that place. But in Vegas, it's just too tempting. There's machines everywhere.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that was fun. So that remember everybody, that was our final Hall of Fame, and it's the 40th anniversary of the show. I'm really excited now for 2 weeks now. We'll do a watch along in 2 weeks. We'll pick a show. And then we're gonna have an announcement in 2 weeks on what we're gonna do with the NWF video library. And it may not be what you think. Let me just say that. Some people might think, well, it's just, it's the NWF Rewind, and that's part of it. But I think it's going to be some exciting news. I think people are going to. There's a certain group out there that have been wanting this, and so they're going to get it. And so exciting stuff with the library. And of course, if you've seen my upscale videos, you've seen what I've been doing with the footage. You've seen how it's been improving. Yep. That's all part of it. And we're going to be able to watch this stuff in a whole new light. So that's what's cool about it. I never thought I'd see the day when I can take VHS footage and make it look presentable in HD to actually add resolution, which is what we're doing, honestly.
Yep.
And improve it. There's been so many claims over the years of things that can do this, and it was always empty promises, and it never really worked. And even that hardware upscaling stuff you see people talk about today pales in comparison to what I'm able to do with the software that I've got. So exciting stuff, a lot of work, mind you, but it'll be worth it in the end. And I think, this is the only reason me and Dave do this, including the videos, getting them better, is because of our love for what we did, and be able to share it with everybody, and so everybody can see it and remember it and think back to a very fun time. Very fun time.
Oh yeah. I mean, how many kids get to live out their dream in their teens?
Yep. And for the Hall of Fame winners, this is a small version of the plaque. You guys will all be getting an 8x10 version of this. If you got in twice, you're going to get 2 of these. So for those that did get in twice. So that's all. By the way, I was hard at work, Dave. I told you I've been busy beaver. This is already in the works.
Oh, okay.
So these plaques are being produced as we speak. And let me tell you that there's one other thing I want to share. Dave doesn't know this. Just give me a second. I didn't want to bring it in because I didn't want Dave to peek at it. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me a second. Go ahead, and if you want to do comments, Dave, there's another comment. I didn't get it.
Okay.
But while I find this, just give me a second here.
Okay. Terry just commented, these were the best days of my childhood, early teen years.
Yeah.
I have to agree, Terry. I mean, you know, some people may think that the October 18th card is just special to me because I won a title. It's more than that for me. It's not just winning the title, getting that recognition as being a champion. The canon thing about it is that card was kind of something that rarely happens in wrestling. That title win was on my 13th birthday. Gizmo just commented, Crusher, thank you for putting together the show by putting all the videos together of each wrestler and made it for fun.
Well, thanks,
And going
Gizmo.
through all the candidates, it was easy and fun to watch.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I do put, because here's the thing. I know pretty well. Dave has a good idea who he would vote for and stuff. We've been in the league. Terry probably as well. But for the rest of you guys who weren't in it back in the day and are watching this now, you need something. You need something to look at and to kind of review and go over so you kind of have an idea who you want to vote for. And so that's the whole reason I did that. I did that more extensively this Hall of Fame than I had any other Hall of Fames that we did.
Exactly.
We used to do a little kind of preview nomination videos, like 1 3-minute video covering everybody, and that was what people went by. But this time we did it much more now. Here's what I want to reveal. This is I was hard at work this week. This is the official, and I'll make it a little smaller so you can see, the official Hall of Fame shirt for the 2024 class of 2024. And I did it a little more elegantly this time because this is the 40th anniversary. So all the pictures are in silver. It's not black and white. It's actually a silver tone. And the names are in red. And you know why the colors of the names are red, Dave?
Why is that?
This is the 40th anniversary edition. Red is ruby. That's ruby red.
Oh, okay.
So that is going to be our Hall of Fame shirt. And it's not on our website yet, but it'll be up there probably by tomorrow. So if you want to order one, I think this one here, the price on this is a little bit more than usual. It's $19.99 for this T-shirt. Still a good price for a T-shirt, though, honestly. And if you want to help support us, because this little extra income here is going to help go to support the creation of all the plaques and everything for the Hall of Fame. There's an expense there, so it's kind of a little fundraiser, I guess you could say, for that. And remember, for those who won T-shirts tonight, this is the shirt you're getting. So, I'm sorry, not this shirt. You're getting the NWF Rewind shirt, but you're getting the new version of the NWF Rewind shirt, which is pretty cool too.
Jeff Densmore says looks great.
Yep. Yeah, it's the official Hall of Fame T-shirt. I hope you guys like it. Like I said, guys, I've been busy beaver. I got this done. I got all the plaques done and ordered. So for Terry Kosnapple, probably Mike Whaley, Jeff Dinsmore, I'll probably try to hook up with you guys in late April when I come to town, providing the plaques show up by the time I leave, which they will, I'm sure. And I'm going to try to I'll bring you the plaques. So, and of course, yours, Dave. That goes without saying. But yeah. And then there's certain guys I'll have to mail them to, like Jamie, he's out in Oregon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that is the T-shirt. Looks pretty cool, huh, Dave? You like it?
Oh yeah. Now I'm gonna have to get money together or wait for my taxes to come back, and now I got 2 T-shirts to order.
Well, I tell you what, Dave, you did win a prize. If you want, I will just substitute your prize with this shirt if you want.
Oh, okay.
Because I know you want this shirt. This probably means more to you than anything.
But also send whatever I had won to, like I said, the initial prize, send it to winner 41.
Right. And Terry's asking how you can get a shirt. Terry, I think you
Okay,
want
I
to.
can tell him.
No, Terry won a prize as well, and I think he's already got it. Or maybe he doesn't. I don't know, but we'll have to see. We'll talk, Terry. Otherwise, it'll be on the website. I think tomorrow, but I can talk to you on that. NWF alumni I always talk to on the side on stuff like this. So, all right. Let me get this off the screen because it's just kind of in my way. There. Yeah, so kind of cool. Yeah, we got to have a Hall of Fame shirt. And then as far as like this first Hall of Fame year, this was the first year. I've had people ask me, can you still get these shirts? And we also have one for 2015 and we have one for 2016. I will reintroduce those shirts. I still have the artwork. We made them 10 years ago and did them, but yeah, I can still do the old Hall of Fame shirts too. So I'll eventually get those up on the website as well. And then, and of course, our new and remember, folks, our new NWF Rewind shirt is up on the website. And for those wondering where that is, this is where you go for all that kind of stuff. NWFWrestling.org/products. That's just going to show you the T-shirts, the DVDs, the books, and all that stuff. But remember, if you won something, you're going to get this. So don't go buying something you already won if you were on that list. So there's still a lot of work to be done for the Hall of Fame, Dave. I've got to now email everybody that won, and I've got to let them know they won. I got to give them a 30-day window to claim, and it's gonna. I wish I could talk about. I wanna leave you guys in suspense. In 2 weeks, we'll talk about what we're going to be doing going forward, but what it's going to mean for me is a lot of work.
Yep.
So there's that. And so like I said, guys, I do it for the love of it. I do it for all of you guys, alumni and everybody that want to see our
enjoy
stuff.
watching this stuff.
Yeah, that enjoy it and want to, see it in a whole new light. So I think you showed this already, didn't you, Dave? But Terry said that these were the best days of my childhood and early teen years. Think about what Terry just said there, guys. Think about that. They were the best days of his memories of a childhood and early teen years, and he's not the only one who feels that way.
A little bit behind a little bit of behind the scenes. I'm speaking for myself, but a lot of people that were in the neighborhood that Terry and I were in, they were kids of single parents, not a lot of money. Times were kind of tough. So this was an outlet for us to get away and be happy for a while.
Yeah. Come to think of it, Dave, I don't think we had there were no rich kids, myself included. Our family wasn't exactly rich. We weren't poor, but we weren't rich. We were one of those middle class families. And there was a lot of Dixie Daves and Jamie McParlands and Terry Cosnopples that were, more weren't rich, right? A lot of the guys were in that boat. So
yep.
So it was, and if you remember, Dave, when you came on the show, there was no entrance fee, there was no you weren't asked to pay anything. It was just all we were asking for is your time. And
exactly.
That was
commitment.
Time and commitment to come on the show. And the reason I did it that way is because I wanted there to be the opportunity for everybody else like me who believed that this could work. I wanted that door open. So that's why. That's why we did it that way. So
I'm going to bring up another comment here.
Sure.
Came in. Jeff Densmore saying that he wanted to thank you and I. Our thanks is making you guys happy. Making the viewers happy with watching this show.
The best way you can show us some appreciation, give us a like on the videos we do. Let us know that you support the channel. That shit. Those likes and subscribes are my payoff. Because
Yep.
that means I know that I'm doing something that people are, getting, they're getting entertained with, and that's the whole point. That was the point back in the day, and that's the point today. So that's why I do it, and because I know how much it means to guys like Terry and Jeff, and and you, Dave. This is a special time for us. So to give you guys something to be proud of what we did, that's what it's all about. So
Yep.
um, yeah, and we don't, life's hard enough right now as for a lot of us. We're just kind of living it day by day, getting through it. So to have something to go back to, another kind of, for one, twice a month, to be able to go through that time machine and just revisit the past and talk about it. It's fun time, fun things.
Relive some happy times.
Oh yeah.
Like Terry said right here. I'll let you read it, Crusher.
Crossen and Dixie have done a great job keeping these memories alive and well in our hearts. Yeah, thanks, Terry. And it's funny Terry brings it up because, Dave, what if all our guests said every time, every one of them, when they come on the show?
They talk about all the great memories from
Yep,
being a part of the show.
and they tell us this exact thing right here. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for bringing this back into our lives again, so that we can see it again.
I mean, all kidding aside, to a lot of people, this may be what we do. May be cheesy. It may be
Yeah.
campy, but
It's a niche. It's a niche too. Niche
You know,
audience.
but we loved what we did back in the day,
Yep.
and we enjoy sharing those memories with anybody who loves wrestling.
And Dave, we're not on par with the WWE. We're not saying we're Hulk Hogan
No.
or Ric Flair, popularity wise. We're kind of a niche, really. But
Exactly.
but what I
But
will
we're
say,
expanding our niche.
but I will say this, Dave, we were unique. Something that was kind of one of a kind. Oh, I gotta say too, another news announcement, everybody. Remember how I told you a few weeks ago that I was going to reach out to Subforce Arnie? That other wrestling group in Europe that's doing this as kids, kind of similar to us, but in
Yep.
the new era of professional wrestling, the modern style, the way it is
Yep.
today. And there's also Wrestling Revolution Keaton. Well, anyways, I reached out to both these guys. I have gotten in touch. Subforce Arnie's father got a hold of me. He kind of monitors his YouTube, his email, and everything. And they are thrilled to come on with us. So we're going to make that
Okay.
happen. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it live. I'm hoping we can, but I'm definitely going to reach out to them here, and we're going to get Subforce Arnie on. We'll bring some of his clips of what he's doing. You're going to see some of the current kids wrestling that's taking place over there. Awesome stuff going on over there in Europe, everybody. King Coop knows exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to kind of let you guys see what they're all about. And by the way, Gizmo, if the Gizmo's still out there, I have a question for him. He said there was another group. Remember this, Dave? 2 weeks or last
Well,
week?
if you scroll up in the comments,
Oh, did he talk about it?
I can't remember if he did or not. I think he
But
might have.
He said he was going to get back to us on who that group was. Because I would like to check them out too. I'm always interested to see what other people are doing and to see what they're doing. I'd love to know about all that. But I'm looking forward to Subforce Arnie.
Yep.
I mean, here's a guy, Dave. I shouldn't say a guy. Here's a young man, a young kid, who's doing exactly what we did 40 years ago today.
Exactly.
Not so much exactly. I think they have adult guidance, and there might be some people behind the scenes maybe coaching them, but they're in the ring by themselves doing it. And that is incredible stuff. It's like, it makes me feel so proud to see them doing what we did, in the new era. I can't say it enough. Not that we have anything to do with them directly, but look, they're taking their dreams, what they love to do, just like we did, and they're making it happen. What can you say? And that's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome stuff.
If you remember, Crusher, in our early shows, if you look back in the archives of the early Rewind shows, we mentioned that we'd like to challenge anybody, any kids nowadays, to do what we did and follow their dream.
I've always made the challenge, even back in the day. Let me share a quick story about that, Dave. Back when we were doing the NWF, would have kids that were out of the area that just didn't have the transportation to get to Anoka. So they really wanted to be a part of it, but they just couldn't. Because like, you said, Dave, sometimes you're in maybe a little bit more poor family and you just don't have the means to get, we were all over the metro. So these kids, I forget where they were, but they were just too far. And so what they wanted to know is, they wanted to start up their show and do what we were doing. And they would call me and I would just, we would talk. And there was nothing more than I wanted them to get going. I would give them all the tips and techniques I could to how to get it going. It never really did materialize, but even back in the day, I wanted kids to do this, even if they couldn't do it with us. Make sense?
Yep.
You would think like, well, we're the only league. It's just us. It's forget the rest of you. No. I wanted everybody doing this. My mind was this, Dave. If I could get another group in the metro doing what we were doing, we could have an annual event, like a Super Bowl, where we would come together and have our champion against their champion. My mind was going 100 miles an hour back then on stuff like that, guys.
All of our minds were.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Subforce Arnie, definitely worth checking out, you guys. And like I said, when we bring them on our show, we'll get I'll work it out with them guys, but we'll get some footage of his so we can show you what they're doing over there, kind of get a feel for it. And we'll make a whole presentation of it. Give them a little bit of exposure here to the U.S. and everywhere else and everybody that watches us, because they deserve
kind of pass the torch.
Yeah. And they deserve it because it's fun. Yeah, I watch them, and yeah, their moves aren't always crisp. Sometimes there's they're kids, folk. They're kids, just like we were the kids. You gonna expect perfection, but they're not bad either. And but what I like is they're doing modern. They're doing it today's style, not old school like we were. So it's like they're taking it into the next era, it's great. I love it. So I think that'll be fun. I think everybody will enjoy that. So lots of good comments. Congratulations, everybody who got in to the.
And I'd like to say congratulations to everybody that got in. Jeff,
the Hall of Fame.
Mike, myself,
Jamie,
Terry,
McFarland.
Jamie. Congratulations to everybody.
Jason Klassen. Jason, isn't necessarily, Jason isn't just never come on our show. He's off the social grid. You got to understand. He's not on any of the social media outlets. He's just kind of off. But I do stay in touch with him, and he does send his best wishes to everybody. He cherishes the memories just like we all do. And he wanted me to at least relay that. So yeah. So Jason and also Mike Whaley, another one who busy with his current life and stuff with everything he's doing. He's a very busy guy. Not necessarily one to want to come on do it to come on our show, but he does cherish the memories. I'm sure he's very happy that people voted for him, and I'm sure he's proud for that too. And so, yeah, it was great.
I realized something, Crusher. We got a lot of 2-time Hall of Famers now.
Yeah, it's not just Kelsey like it was originally. Matt Kelsey got in there twice right away as a manager. And I got to say, I kind of was surprised when Kelsey got in as a manager because, Dave, he was going up against guys at the time, Mick Weller, Jackknife Jacob. I mean, and if I remember correctly, in that Hall of Fame voting, when Kelsey got the manager, he barely got it from Jackknife Jacob. Jacob and him were like neck and neck in that particular year for the voting. But yeah, it's tough for the guys like Merciless Mike and Jackknife Jacob only because they weren't part of the heyday. They were cut short. So people don't always think of them as much, or maybe they don't get the votes. But yeah, Guys, it is the last one. I know Dave hints around. Well, we'll do it for the 50th. No, look, we gotta put a nail in the coffin on the Hall of Fame. I think it's time. I think 4 of them was always my goal to do 4, and I think this is it. I don't think
You
I
know,
know.
Crusher, the only reason I keep hinting is I know the way your mind works.
Yeah, but there's other things we can do for our 50th anniversary. If we get that far, if we're all fortunate enough to be healthy and stuff and living. I want
Yep.
to give shout outs to some of the other guys that aren't on Facebook. And John Hoffman, he was just recently gave Gary Parr his plaque from 2016. They did a picture. We had it on our Facebook page. I want to just let them guys know that, hey, that was great. I'm glad that that Gary, who's had some rough things in his life health wise, and he's doing good now, I guess. Glad that
You
he
know,
was
shout
able
out to
to.
Gary.
What's that?
Shout out to Gary. You know,
Yep.
he's not one that really hops on social media a whole lot.
No, but he was, people, he had a diving accident early on in the clay hole in Coon Rapids, and he broke his neck during his time in the NWF. So his whole time with the league got cut short because of that.
Yep.
But what people don't realize is the Destructors, as popular as they were the second tag team to go into the Hall of, or the third tag team to go into the Hall of Fame. Wouldn't have even happened if it wasn't for Gary Parr. It was Gary's whole idea to do it. He wanted to do the NWF. He brought John along, John Hoffman, and I know that John, I'm sure, is grateful for that he did. But yeah, so it was a big thing for him at the time. So, yeah.
You know, oh, Terry just popped up.
Yeah, talking about that clay hole. It wasn't the best place either, if you think about it. It was kind of a dirty place, really, for swimming.
Yeah.
It was almost a runoff for all the collection of the storm sewers and stuff. And I actually looked at the history of the clay hole. It's very interesting. That's deep. I didn't know how deep that thing was. They used to dig clay out of there to make brick. So it goes way down. Yeah. But anyways, I suppose, Dave, we should probably wrap it up. I hope you guys all enjoyed the show this week. It was our revealing, the prize reveals, as well as nominations. And let's just take a look one more time before we sign off at the Hall of Fame class of 2024. Jeff Dinsmore as announcer, manager Mick Weller, the tag teams, Crossen and Dread, and Dixie Dave and Rattlesnake Jake. And then our 4 wrestlers this year: Invader 4, Terry Kosnapple, Mr. Macho, Mike Whaley, Ricky Vaughn / Invader 3 / the Irish Terror, a.k.a. Jamie McFarland. Ricky Vaughn was just the last character he did. And then Dixie Dave, of course, the co-host of NWF Rewind.
Thank you for all the votes, people.
Yeah, it was a fun show. And so, yeah, Terry and Jeff, I will get in touch with you here in the next few weeks as far as getting you those plaques. Hopefully we can hook up here when I come to town. I'll be in town on the 25th through the 28th or 29th? Thursday through
Something
Sunday.
like that.
Yeah, so.
And you know something I just thought of, Crusher?
Mm-hmm.
With you saying the voting went the way it is, I hold a victory over Crusher Crossen now.
Oh, for the tag teams. You do, but if you combine me and Kelsey,
Yep.
I think people are, like Gizmo said, they're having a hard time voting, but I'm just giving you a hard time over that. Look, you got the votes. You were so worried. The funny thing is you were worried about it. And I knew, and Dave, even before you had your entourage that you tried to get to help vote for you, you were doing well anyway. That's why you're so far ahead of everybody. Just so you know. So,
I just plugged myself on social media and asked friends to vote.
Yep. Well, that's what a lot of the guys, and there's no shame in that. A lot of the guys did that.
Yep.
I know Dominic Dumas, when he got in, I was seeing all these votes coming from Thailand. We don't normally get votes from Thailand. And, even people that don't come on the show, like the Ice Dragon, when the years they got in, they got a lot of votes from somewhere out of nowhere. So, but that's fine. Promote yourself. I've said it all along. Promote yourself. That's the smartest thing you can do.
Yep.
So that's, but no, and I knew we weren't going to, we don't look, we're a small niche thing and it's a small little Hall of Fame for us. We're not going to get thousands of votes.
No.
So, but to get 81 people to vote, that's pretty good actually. I was glad for that. And the very first Hall of Fame we did, I think we got a little over 52 total votes in the 2014 Hall of Fame. So, we almost doubled that. So that was pretty good.
And I don't know if you saw, Terry said reach out to him about those dates.
Yep, definitely get a hold of him. Maybe me, you, and him can get together. And plus, I got to get with Jeff Dinsmore, and I'll have to try to reach out to Mike as well. Yet? What's that?
I was being a smart aleck and said, see if you found my boots yet.
Yeah, those DD boots. The thing is, here's the thing. He has them somewhere. He just has to find them.
Yep.
So at least he still has them. All right. So I think we should call her. So remember, folks, 2 weeks, not next week.
2 weeks
the
from
week
tonight.
After.
I'm sorry you've had to put up with us 3 weeks in a row, but we enjoy this. We knew it was a special time, and my thought was WWE's doing their Hall of Fame, I believe tomorrow night, right before WrestleMania. Why not us do ours the same weekend?
It's kind of Jeff's, or I keep calling you Jeff. It's kind of Dave's idea to do this tonight, because it was before the WrestleMania and everything, and so that's kind of why we did it. And remember though, when we come back in 2 weeks, we'll do a watch along that week, so it'll be another classic NWF show to watch, and we're gonna have our announcement on the NWF video library that I think you're all going to be very excited to hear. So,
you know what I'm going to say, Crusher? If you can hold it in that long, to try and hold our viewers over, let's save it for the end of next week's show to make that big announcement.
The end of the show, so we don't do it in the beginning? Sure, we can do that.
Yep.
Yeah. That sounds good. All right. So, folks, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you all in 2 weeks from tonight.
2 weeks.
Same time, same place.